Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to update the Zibo 737 Navdata. Couple of things before we get started. This is not the recommended method of updating your Navdata. There's a better way of doing it. I would ask you to search online to find it out. I will also put the link in the description on where to do it if you do not have an aircraft that requires the default X-Plane 11 nav data. And this is using the coded instrument flight procedures from the FAA. So this is US only nav data. If you try and use this nav data, let's say in Europe, it will not work out. If I try to type in Liverpool into the FMC, it will get me a not in database entry. Okay, with that out of the way, I'm going to get started. We're going to be using Ubuntu 16.04 today, but if you're on Windows or Mac, just Google the commands that I'm going to be showing you in the terminal. There's two places that you need to go first. One is the FAA Coded Instruments Flight Procedures. There will actually be, you'll actually search for it up here. Just go to faa.gov, search for it here. There should choose the first entry, scroll down, click download, click I agree, scroll down, choose your active active dates, click download, go over here to the Dropbox. This is convert 424 to X-Plane 11 nav data converter. Just search for it in Google, click your operating system, and then click download direct. It should put you here. Just extract them. And with the coded instrument flight procedures, you want to only extract this FAA coded instrument flight procedures 18 file. It should take your files and move them into actually you can leave them there if you want to, but I'm going to move them to clean it up. Okay, now with that out of the way, now here comes the tricky part. Go to your app searcher, computer searcher, type in terminal. On Windows, it's command prompt. Click it. You'll see this, and it looks kind of scary, but once you understand how it works, it's pretty easy. So this is the user on, this is the desktop, and this is the current directory, this little blue squiggle. That means I'm on the home nav data. Now, this only works on Linux. This command only works on Linux, but search Google for the equivalent of Windows and Mac. This command will list all the documents and folders that are currently in that directory. So in my home directory, it will list everything that's here is here. Okay. To change directory, you type in cd. This is also the change directory command used on Windows. So you just type in cd navdata and enter, and this will change. The slash means it's inside the folder, so it's inside the home folder, inside the navdata folder, which is inside the home folder. You should type that again just to verify. Green is programs, blue is folders, and white is everything else. To run a command in Ubuntu, or Linux for that matter, you type /. Now, I do not know what you do to run programs in Windows, but this is what you do for Linux. This is where Google comes in again. Type in convert 424 to explain 11. Now, if all went well, you should see this. This is the program telling you, okay, you called me, but I do not have enough data to run, to do what you're telling me. Basically, so how you use this is you run the program, this is part of this, then you type in the path to the master file, then you type in the copyright string. This can be just a random set of words or number. It doesn't have to be copyright. You don't have to go file patent to get your Navdata copyrighted. There's a second way of doing this, but I don't know that way. Here's an example just so that you can see. Okay, so what's the path to the master file? Okay, it's this right here, this location. You also are going to have to add a / and then type in the name of the file after you finish typing this location. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the path. And then add FAA coded instrument flight procedures 18. Then another space. The spaces are important. Only one space in between. So it's running and then one space and then the path and then one space, and then you can add the quotations for your string. So this is just one example of your copyright string. Of course, again, you don't have to go file patent to get your Navdata copyrighted. You can just say that and it will be fine. Now, once you have that all typed up, you just hit enter. We'll think for a little bit. Then it will give you this. When it's done, you'll see another prompt comes up. That's just the computer's way of telling you, hey, I'm done with what you're telling me. Okay. Now you should have the coded instruments flight procedure folder, airport.csv, earth_airway.dat, earth_nav.dat, and earth_fix.dat. Move all of those, including the FAA coded instrument flight procedures, into your X-plane custom data. Now just go ahead and overwrite these. Okay, if you want to go check, just go ahead. Okay, and it's all here. The reason why we need this file is this is important, is X-plane, for whatever reason, it might have something to do with having to use this second syntax, but what this is, but X-plane, if you don't have the FAA coded instrument flight procedures, it will say there's nothing in the CIFP folder, which is bad. So that's why we just plopped this in. This will send the default Garmin GPSs and the default FMC will read this file, because if your location is reported in the US, then we'll pull from this. If you're outside the US or are using the Zibo's FMC, it will try and pull from these. Of course, it's the same thing because we just converted it out of this thing, so you're not losing anything there. Okay, I'll go ahead and run X-Plane. So I loaded up Zibo 737, and the last step is to make sure that your nav data is up to date and within the current active range and on both FMCs. Check both FMCs, the default and Zibo's. Make sure on the default that it says second nav database is pulling from the FAA Coded Instrument Flight Procedure. And that's it. Shout out to Cessna 729 on the xplane.org forums for helping me figure out how to use the Convert 424 to XP11 nav data convert tool, and go ahead and enjoy your new nav data.